Hey guys, what is up? It is Big Bird Reviews here. I have not done a movie review in forever, so I'm glad to be back. And before you go into the comments, because you looked at the title, when I say one of the best DC films, I actually mean DCEU films. So that's Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Aquaman. Because we obviously know Nolan's Batman trilogy is the best DC films, so that's not even up for debate. I went into Shazam with high hopes because of the reviews I have heard. I usually don't go in with high hopes to some movies because I know I might get let down. But this movie, the trailers really hooked me. They really got me. I loved Zachary Levi as Shazam, even just in the trailers. And and the guy from Walking Dead is in there, so Cooper Andrews. So I was like, okay, good cast, good cast. Let's see if they can pull this out. It was a whole different tone than any other DCEU movie. Because we went from the dark. I like how now they're doing solo films now. I like how like Aquaman has its own tone, and I liked how this movie had its own tone. But they're still like honoring each other character. Like they talk about Superman and Batman and Aquaman a lot in these movies, but they do it respectfully, like with jokes. And so you still know they're in the same universe, but there can be different tones. Kind of like how MCU is with Daredevil and the movies. Like Daredevil's super dark and Punisher. And then the movies are like kind of lighthearted a little bit. So if Marvel can do that, I don't see why people aren't. If nobody goes after Marvel for doing that, I don't know why people are going after DC for doing it. Just because it's a movie and not a TV show. I'm glad Zachary Levi is playing a superhero. If you didn't know, he was in Thor 3, Thor I think 2 and 3 because the guy from 1 quit or something. He died in Thor 3. He was like a really minor role. But so now he's in DC. The movie, I'm gonna start off with the complaints because I have very few. The one complaint, I really only have one complaint, is the first like 30 minutes. I was interested. I was interested. The beginning, like maybe 5-8 minutes, is about the villain as a kid getting set up, and I really like that part. But then like right after that, it's kind of slow, but it's not like the bad slow. But I would rather have them just got right to the chase with him becoming Shazam, because anytime Zachary Levi is on screen, I was laughing my ass off and I was having such a good time. But the kids were great too, so it wasn't like when he was regular 14-year-old Billy Batson, I wasn't like that, because their dynamic was amazing. Surprisingly, one of the best parts of the movie is the foster home, the family dynamic, because the kids all interact really well. Billy Batson and I forgot the crippled kid's name, but they get along very well, and I really like how the one kid is kind of like how I am with superheroes, but the difference between us is he actually lives in a world that superheroes exist. He has a bullet that Superman actually, that guy actually shot at Superman. He has the fake batarang. He has an Aquaman shirt. So it's funny how this world is like our world, but they're just marketing off of actual superheroes, which is really cool to me. DC is like where MCU is right now, because everyone knows superheroes exist. So they finally like no one really is free. Like they'll film, but obviously anyone will film if you see someone flying. But like they're not like freaking out anymore because they're so used to it. The villain, I like the villain. I don't really know much about Seven Deadly Sins and all that, so I'm not like anything really about Shazam. I just kind of know about Black Adam. But I really liked his backstory. How he went and he wasn't chosen, and then it just, because that's something that would happen if you're 10 years old and you get transported to this place with that wizard, and then he says you're not worthy enough. You're going to wonder why you weren't worthy enough, and you're going to wonder if anyone else has seen this. And I really love how he has this whole like research lab to it, and he has like his own office, and he has all these people that have seen things, and I really like that. I don't know much about like the Seven Deadly Sins. Like I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know how they interact with the DC universe, so I can't really give my opinion on them. I like them. They're creepy. Okay, so his name is Freddie Freeman, the cripple kid who's obsessed with superheroes. I didn't want to keep saying cripple kid, so I had to look it up. But I really like how Freddie was like giving all these superhero tropes, and he was like testing them and seeing what he had. And I really like that because that's what would actually happen. If one of your friends became a superhero, you would test to see what they have. And it just leads up with some very funny moments. I really liked how they portrayed him as a foster kid, how like he was doing some illegal things in the beginning, and then he was trying to find his mother, and he finally found her, and I probably never hated an on-screen mother more. Like, basically she was 17, and because in the beginning of the movie you see him get lost from her, and at first you don't really make, like, how could she lose her? And then, because I had it in the back of my head, like, maybe she saw him, she just didn't want him, and that's what ended up happening. and I love how he went back to the foster home, and then like he said, "I'm going back to my real family." And it wasn't like an out of nowhere decision for him. Like he was struggling with the foster home being his real family, but I'm glad it wasn't just like in one scene he's like, "I don't want to be in this family," and like the legit next scene he's like, "I do." They built it up, so I really like that. My personal favorite scene. So they're the villain and Shazam are fighting in the end, and basically this movie just breaks a whole lot of like superhero tropes, which I really love. So basically they're like floating in the city, like this is like a mile apart, and the guy's monologuing, the bad guy, and it just cuts to Shazam, like just you hear wind, because like he's talking from a mile away. Usually, like, you know, like say Superman or Zod does some big speech. Shazam's like, "I can't hear you, dude. You're like a mile away." Like it's breaking superhero tropes, which I really liked. Any movie that does that is really good. Again, like since I don't know much about Shazam, the end credit scene didn't really hit me. Like it was basically the villain inside a prison cell, and it's some caterpillar talking. I don't know who it's set up. The only villain I know of is Black Adam, and they did reference Black Adam when they're showing him the powers. They're like, someone got this power like millions of years ago and he killed a lot of people. That was Black Adam, so I really hope he's the villain of Shazam 2. I really liked how all of the family became Shazam people. That really took me by surprise, and I really liked that moment, and how they were all, and like the Freddie Freeman finally became a superhero, and he's like just spitting knowledge of superheroes to like the villain while he's fighting him. I really liked that. I really liked how, so basically, there's like these two asshole bullies who are like 20, so I don't know why you're beating up a crippled kid. They're basically like, and Freddy ends up being like, "I know Shazam, he'll come to my lunch tomorrow," and he doesn't come to lunch tomorrow. So I like how at the end of the movie he does show up, and okay, so I'm gonna address the Superman thing quickly, because everyone wanted a Superman cameo, and is there one? Yes, there is. So basically, at the end of the movie, Shazam's sitting there, and everyone's like, "Whoa, he actually knows Shazam," and he's like, "Yeah, I bought another friend," and you see Superman walk in. The thing about this cameo, I did like it. I really liked the Superman cameo, because that's just like all, because like you can't have a Shazam movie without Superman. I even know that, and I really liked how I really liked you don't see his face. It's like here down. He's just holding a lunch tray. Because obviously things are murky with the whole Henry Cavill as Superman right now, and he's also filming the Witcher series, so they probably couldn't get him. But I'm glad they still included that moment. And did it take away a little bit that we didn't see his face? Yeah, but it didn't bother me that much. But honestly, no joke, maybe like one joke, but I can't even remember that joke. I'm pretty sure every single joke landed for me, at least. Like I was laughing. Again, Zachary Levi was killing it. Freddie Freeman, he was delivering his lines perfectly. The jokes were funny. The foster parents, when they were joking, especially the dad, who's Jerry from Walking Dead, he was killing me the whole time. And I just really love this movie. I went in with high expectations. Those were met. It's hard to release a superhero movie in the month of April because you have Endgame, so a lot of attention is there. But I'm really glad a lot of people are going to see this movie, because they did care about the source material from what I've heard. And they just really made a unique DC movie, and I really hope they keep this going, because they had a hot streak. They had Aquaman, and they had this, so I really can't wait to see what movies in the DC universe are next. Now, DC movies that are coming out that are not in the universe is the Joker, which I'm really hyped for. I did a Joker breakdown trailer, so if you go on my channel, it's the last video I uploaded. I also did an Endgame. They made at least like a 1-minute trailer. I broke that down, so that'll be on my channel. And yeah, so basically I'll be doing some videos. I might start breaking down some Marvel movies that I want as we are in the final 3 weeks until Endgame. So, as always, guys, this has been Joey. Peace out.